Hey guys, welcome back. We're gonna touch base here with everyone's favorite scumdogger, Ultimate Pokeflute, aka Brandon. And today he is, well, I guess about a week ago, he published a video where he is going to publicly alter this card here, and he's going to sell it off to someone else. It's weird because I guess at one point in time his argument was the fact that he was never going to sell any of these cards. He was only doing it for his own personal collection, but now it seems like he's doing it for other people. We're going to touch on the other stuff that he's done in the past a little bit later on in this video, but this is disrespectful. I don't know how to put it anyway other than that. Yes, you do own the card. I don't know why you would want to purchase this from Pokeflute or even do it to your own card when it clearly is disrespectful to the artist. And yes, you own the card at this point. You can do whatever, you can wipe your butt with it if you want to. That would be disrespectful, but you could do it. Now, we had Mr. Flute here, Mr. Skin Flute Brandon. He, in the past, his argument was that he was never going to sell these things. And whoop-de-doo, he did. He did sell them. And, I mean, I guess he's got many arguments or many justifications for what he's doing here. But at the end of the day, it's disrespectful. Not to mention the fact that it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It shouldn't make a whole lot of sense to anyone. No one should want this. So, for any artist to wipe off the personalization, it's going to be disrespectful. It's there for a reason. It's a requirement, either by the artist or by the Pokemon company, that it's on there. You are removing that is disrespectful. Most of these artists, especially the Japanese Pokemon card artists that are impacted by a lot of this stuff, they're offended if you sell the card. It is supposed to be a gift to you. It is supposed to be something special for you, where you go meet the artist, where you get to, it's something for you. Whether or not they're charging for that, whole different story. And it's apparently that is not a factor for our boy Pokeflute here. But in this specific instance, Mr. Saito is not a fan. Not a fan, very offended if you sell a card. The card is meant to be for you. End of story. Now, removing the personalization, altering the card is a whole nother deal. Something that PSA should have cracked down on a whole lot harder than they actually did. And this is what we get as a result. We have a card being altered. So it should no longer be graded by any of the grading companies. I mean, they shouldn't be accepting anything from this individual regardless. The grading companies, the signature market is an absolute mess. We're going to touch on that in this video as well. It is the Wild West out there. If you're buying signatures, you shouldn't be, probably to begin with. If it's something that someone's going to have an event, it's best to go get your own signatures from these events. That would be the main point of collecting, I would think. Let's touch on the new proud owner. I guess everyone has a preference. Is Ultimate Pokeflute's new catchphrase that he's going to go with at this point in time to justify his actions. Again, why would you want to buy this, or why would you want to own this, knowing that the artist is upset by anything of the sort? So you own it as sort of paying tribute to the artist who completely disagrees with what you're doing. That blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind, and I get it. It's people that are selling to other people that are probably unknowing at some point. Now, whether or not BC Collectibles is planning on keeping this bad boy forever. Regardless, you can't keep it forever. You're going to die eventually. And someone's going to assume that this wasn't signed. Now, the grading companies, yes, they need to keep tabs on anything like this. Very, very clearly at the date. They need to work with the people that are doing these signing events. All of that needs to be recorded, and then you can authenticate whether it's real or not. But again, I still, even if the signature or the personalization was not wiped on it, it was not an altered card at this point in time, not an altered signature, I would never want to buy an altered card or a signed card knowing that the artist doesn't approve of that, or knowing that the artist would be upset with the fact that it was done. Why? Like, I don't get it. It feels gross, and I'm not even touching anything of the sort. I have signed cards and they're awesome, but I had them signed for me. That's kind of how it works. And I get it. If it's somebody that, if it's an artist that passed away, if it's an artist that's no longer signing, that you'll never get the chance to get, I kind of get that. Still not really for me, but I can see how that might be for someone. But when the artist is still doing events, when it's possible to still get this done for yourself and have it look not frowned upon by the artist, why not just do that? I get it. It might cost time and money to do it. You might have to wait a while. You might not get a Pokeflute special right away. Now, you'll see here that we got like we got some like hype daddy pump shit. Like, you see this with all the fucking scummy people, all the scammy people. They're like, oh yeah, fire emojis. You're the best G-baller out there. G-baller. Dog pounds, dude. Just ridiculous. So they say, to say I finally accomplished my collecting goal I had since I first started brought tears to my eyes. This one of one, as we know right now, signed Kyoto Lugia poncho, signed by Koki Saito. I've been after this since I started my collection journey 3 years ago, and I met Ultimate Pokeflute at Okala to get some card signs by Mitsuhiro Arita. Ever since then, we have been great friends. So if you're friends with Pokeflute, and if you're cool with what he's doing, just know, you're pretty much ruining things. You're potentially ruining things for other people that want to get legitimate autographs that were meant for them. Just a heads up. You're going to pretend that you're like an autograph enthusiast, that you respect the artist, but this is completely against the artist's wishes. This is tainted. This is absolutely tainted. And it potentially makes the artist not want to sign in the future. And I guess you can't meet Pokeflute at events anymore because he was banned from events, from signing events because he threatened violence. So, like, this is the kind of person that's your friend. That's concerning. Again, and anyone else that knows what he's done, knows what he's up to, and knows how disrespectful this is, like, a way to out yourself, I guess, if you know what's going on. We got Harada and Orlando. So this is somebody that's going to signing events. But why wouldn't you just get your own? This is just a playing card. I can't imagine it's very expensive. You can buy the whole deck. So, ridiculous. And of course, the seller at this point is going to say, blessed to have your real one in my corner, brother. You know you always got me in yours. Proud to see your grind taking you to the top, bro. Sky is the limit. Don't let anyone tell. So they end up being like a motivational poster. They're just like, okay, let me look around my room. I got all kinds of, I got hang in there. We got all the motivational posters. It's just gross. It's just gross actions and pretty unnecessary gross actions. Again, just, I mean, this is the same guy that's going to bring his kids to wait in line to get stuff signed. So, hey kids, do you want to go to the park and play? Hey kids, do you want to go do some fun? You want to go to the movies? No, you'd rather stand in line so we can get some autographs that we can flip, that we can wipe and flip. It's just, it doesn't surprise me at this point in time. There are many G-ballers. There's probably even worse G-ballers out there that are doing more G-balling stuff than our boy here. So, for those who aren't aware, our boy Brandon and his friend Rob, they had Kamiya signed a bunch of stuff for them free of charge. Kamiya not in good health. Kamiya specifically told them, please do not sell these. These are a gift to you. Personalize all the cards. And whoop-de-doo. What do you think happened? If you guessed that they wiped the cards and then were selling them and claiming they weren't selling them, but they were selling some of them. Just the most disrespectful shit. Like, my apologies, but if you have no respect for the artist, like, you shouldn't be, no one should even allow you, at least unquestioned, to say that you're an autograph enthusiast or collector or that you appreciate any of it. Like, that's pretty gross. Paying for it, wiping it, and whatever, I can see that you have a little bit of justification there. I still don't understand it, because if it's going against the artist, that's the artist, that's the signature that you're collecting or that you want to have in your collection, that feels gross. But this is the grossest of the gross. And the worst part is the PSA like half-ass backtracked on it. They were shown before and after pictures. They should have known to begin from the get-go that Kamiya does not sign without a personalization on it. And they should have looked into it a whole lot harder than they did. But and then that's even before the autograph mess that we're dealing with these days. It's far worse than that. It is a fucking upside down, absolute disaster. And here he's admitting to, in the thumbnail there, admitting to getting banned from events for threatening violence. Class act. What a class act. Aren't we so lucky? I had the pleasure of meeting him in person. He threw a little tantrum. It's pretty funny. Now, here we have it, before and after pictures. Whoop-de-doo. What do you think of that? I don't know. PSA. This is, I know they don't like to photo match when they're showing pictures of cards that have been altered and resubmit. They don't want to deactivate those because they got to pay money on them. But when you have these, now there was, some of them had like authentic altered on it. Again, PSA's own rules, currently their own rules. Now that they've seen the process of Mr. Flute, should be able to deactivate all of these, right? He's shown his secret method for removing signatures. Not removing signatures, removing the personalization. So, and yes, these people were dumb enough to even show their full name written on there beforehand. We have all the cards here. Again, if you're a grading card company and you don't have all these, if you don't have this image on standby for any time any of this stuff gets sent in, I mean, you should know. You should know. Come on. You should know right away that if there's Kamiya autographs coming in, if you're authenticating autographs for Pokemon, for Kamiya, you should know damn well that they're going to have a personalization on them. Now, it gets worse. This is kind of the, I guess this is the downfall. This is how everything became worse in terms of graded autographs. I mean, Beckett seems to be recently grading a bunch of fakes. We had CGC who was advertising a fake autograph, alleged fake autograph. Again, other than the fact that it looks painfully fake, there's no real way to confirm it. But they're the professionals, right? Surely they should be able to confirm without a shadow of a doubt when an example looks so fucking terrible that they really need to. They need to have some serious proof, but instead they deleted the post. So now we have the downfall was the PSA's authenticator, who was now calling out a lot of the fake stuff on social media, who was chopping up shipping documents, who was helping with signing events, chopping up the shipping documents, pissed off the artist. We have altered signatures here where people were allowed to color in their own Charizard and it would sell for a huge margin. Again, this is like PSA's policies. Any of the grading companies, your policies need to be airtight, because if people have a way to exploit people that don't know any better, they're going to do it. If someone can Sharpie in a Charizard after they get it autographed by a Rita, they're going to do it if it's going to bring more money. And it did. And people got boned. People, there's no way. People assume that you're doing something over there at the grading companies, that you're not just blindly authenticating stuff for money, which seems to be the case oftentimes. What else we got here? So with the whole autograph cutting thing, that was a whole mess in itself. You have the cut, you have the card, you have the trading card designation on the top, where this is a unlicensed trading card that was printed out and put together by a PSA employee. Like, when you have to worry about the PSA employees doing the bad stuff, that should be easily looked over by whoever their higher up is. Now, you know you're going to have issues with people doing scammy shit like this. Adding coloring in the Charizard so that they can make extra money when they sell it off. And yes, it's probably going to go through consignment services like Probstein on this one. Or they're going to pump it through Fanatics Collect or anything like that. And that's where, yes, my apologies, consignment companies, but you have to clean up the mess sometimes. We've seen Fanatics kind of clean up the mess with the autographs on counterfeit cards. Good on them for doing that. But this is another one of those things where, like, if you're a consignment company, you don't fucking take this. My apologies. I know you get to make commission on that $5,000, but you shouldn't. If you're doing what's best in the best interest of your customers, you're not going to do that. You're not going to sell that. You need to be aware of that stuff, because snaky dakies, bo bakies, they are going to try to pump stuff through the consignment companies so it doesn't get traced back to them. And then the consignment company is going to be like, oh, we can't reveal the identity of our clients. Yeah, well, guess what? Your clients are fucking everyone. So if you don't want to identify them for the people that are going to do the work, you need to do the work to make sure that people are not scamming through your platform, that you don't have altered cards getting pumped through your platform. They removed the almost certainly trimmed, allegedly trimmed card that was on their platform. We looked it up. There's more issues. I can't imagine. I haven't heard anything from PSA. I sent it to them as well. They didn't get back to me on that, whether or not they wanted to deactivate, or at least, even if you're not certain and you need to get it back for review so that you can see that the card is significantly smaller than all other trading cards of that same genre, do it. Put a little warning. Please send back. We need to review this. Might be trimmed. Maybe, or just put questionable authenticity, questionable alteration, something or other. You put anything on it. Just warn people when they look up the cert before they're buying cards that are, I think that was also, was it Vaporeon? I think the Vaporeon was also around $5,000, something like that. Can't remember, maybe it wasn't. I think it was a Vaporeon. I'm losing my mind, guys. There's too much stuff going on here, and autographs are just the most dangerous shit. So then we had the cutting incident where PSA claimed that they fixed it, but then the artist said, or that they reached out to the artist to make things right, to resolve the issue, actively engaging with them. But then we have the artist, we have Mr. Saito, who again doesn't like any of this stuff, isn't a fan of people reselling their stuff, and clearly isn't going to be a fan of someone cutting up a shipping document, creating it into a card, and selling it. That's working at the grading company. Like, and yes, that employee got fired, and now they're just out there on Instagram calling out all the fake autographs that are being, like, it's a mess. So should they have kept the guy that was doing shady shit? Or do they get rid of the guy that knows what he's looking at? I feel like they need some experts, and they need them now. I think sports has been a little bit of a mess as well, with what's getting rejected or not rejected. Stuff was just not getting graded for the longest time because they probably didn't have someone that was supposed to be doing that stuff. It's an absolute disaster. I would advise you guys, just stay the hell away from signed cards. If it's possible to get one signed for yourself, the amount of money that you're probably paying on the secondary market, you can probably go to whatever event it is and get one signed for yourself. Go have fun. Meet up with some friends. Go to the event. Get it signed. It's to you. It's not disrespectful to the artist. And just leave it at that. It blows my absolute mind. So then, what do we got here? Oh, that's another disaster that's unrelated. We won't get into that, but we had the card altering, Kurt's card. I guess it is kind of relevant because we're talking about PokerFlute, who's he didn't splurge for the splooge with the Kurt splooge. He's just going on his own. I don't know. I think he had some other kind of altering paste. Guys, the stuff that polishes the card is altering the card. We're gonna put that out there. I know it's hard to hear it because the polish removes the material from the surface to make it more even. So no, it does not remove a scratch. It removes the stuff around the scratch to make it look like the scratch is not there. So yes, it's altering of the card. Take it or leave it. Yeah, I mean, just take it because it is what it is. It's not cleaning. Anyone that's calling it cleaning is trying to disguise the fact that it's not. If you want to clean a card, take a little bit of water, take a paper towel, give it a little rubby-dubby, and you're good to go. That way you're not hiding any scratches or damage or whatever. You're not making it extra lubed up and glossy. You're not filling anything in. All right, what do we got here? We got fake signatures. Fake signatures are also a giant threat, so you need to be careful with those. My God, they're everywhere now. We had them popping up 5 months ago. We have them popping up every day. We have them now being graded more than ever, and it is a disaster. So a lot of this stuff stems from the fact that the time and research and effort is not going into these. I mean, especially on the ones that have a date on them. The ones that have a date on them should all be cataloged, even if PSA, even if BGS, even if CGC, whoever wants to pay for it, to be able to do the proper job and authenticate these things, needs to make sure they're working with the event organizers to have all of these things recorded, every single card recorded, so they can verify it. There you go. That would even be extra business for them. If PSA is going to pay the event organizers to record and log and have access to a record of everything that was signed. And then they just go in and authenticate those, because then at that point, not only on the customer end, it's gonna provide a less friction, less hassle version of the service. If they want to send it into PSA, they know it's on file. They know that PSA is going to verify it. They're going to be able to verify it. There's no like second guessing, send it back. Oh, we can't determine if this is authentic. They're gonna know it's real. I mean, why do I have to spell out their business for them? Like it's just the most easy peasy thing that could possibly exist. Work with the event organizers. Maybe not the one that I don't know if he's working events anymore. Maybe not the employee event organizer. You would think that it'd be very easy for him to authenticate the things that he was at the event for. Maybe they didn't think to like record and have a record of everyone that got something signed and what it looked like when it was signed, so that you don't have people removing personalizations or changing anything or adding something to the sketch. The adding something to the sketch stuff is just so unacceptable. And all it takes is you just saying, no, we're not going to grade this, because we think that you put the sketch on the Charizard. We think that you colored in the Charizard. And then no one's going to do it anymore. Exploit ruined. Oh no. The bad guys don't get to make free tendies off people that don't understand that it wasn't part of the authentication. Wild, I know. We had photoshopped images showing stuff, so be careful. Even if somebody has an image of someone signing a card, apparently also it can be photoshopped. Then we have down below that the most recent 13 days ago, a couple weeks ago, we have the artist name spelled wrong, and also what looked like a forgery, in my opinion, in the opinion of many. Then we had a fake, probably auto pen or tracing tool that was being used to pump signatures through Beckett. And yes, it would be great if Beckett did anything. They seem to not do a whole lot. They seem to not deactivate stuff. When they showed that it's altered, in the sports card world, they've been shown countless examples of stuff that's been altered. Before and after photos, clearly the same card, clearly altered. Some of them being serialized, some of them being autographed. With the identical card. And it's got pieces chopped off of it. Again, like, just do the bare minimum, guys. And there will be way less of these messes to clean up afterwards. You can't authenticate something if you don't actually put the work in. You don't have the expertise to do it. I know it's mind-blowing that I have to tell them that. Mind-blowing that that's the problem that's going on here. And if you do make mistakes are going to happen. Own up to them and fix them. Clean it up right away. Clean up the mistake right away. Whether it's your employee taking advantage of something, whether it's, I mean, they did take pretty quick action on that, but now we have a whole another mess of fakes and forgeries and stuff that's questionable. I think the biggest criticism for PSA, and yes, whether you're a PSA fan or not, you should hope that they clean this stuff up, because it's the reputation that you're banking on. If you have a bunch of PSA cards, yes, you should want them to fix the mess that they have. Fix the grading of counterfeit cards that they've been doing. Clean it up. Request that they all come back. Put the new labels on them. And if it's a counterfeit card, put counterfeit trading card instead of trading card. Put counterfeit card instead of card. Put unlicensed cut instead of cut. So that people that are new, that are banking on, that are relying on the fact that the grading company is supposed to be telling them what's real and not, is actually doing that in a straightforward manner. Because no, most of the people that are relying on the grading company's opinion, relying on the grading company's authentication, do not know the ins and outs and the fucking secret sauce that goes behind the cards that don't say they're counterfeit, but they're counterfeit. And we've seen that time and time again, and hopefully it gets cleaned up. I mean, it would, yes, it's going to cost them money. Make it free to send those cards back in, and then it'll remove the warning. This needs to be sent in for reholder. It is a counterfeit card, potentially counterfeit card, something like that. Easy peasy. People have to send it back in. You don't get another grading fee on it. You got to recase that thing, but it's your own mess that you made. It's your own lack of, I guess, foreshadowing, lack of foresight to know that people were going to exploit it, and it's your mess to clean up. Thanks for tuning in. Had to get a lot of this stuff off my chest. Love you guys. Join the Discord. Make sure you're going to the link tree. You're going to the Troll and Toad with the Rattle 5, code Rattle 5. Make sure you're going to Card Market. You don't need to take a certain link. You don't need it. You don't need, it's just a good place to shop, and they like the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Love you guys.